Hello and welcome to day 13 of weight loss skills training. And today we're going to talk about intermittent fasting and how you can use it to help yourself lose weight. This is just a tool that I offer. I teach my clients because I think it is really, really powerful in helping us to become more sensitive to insulin and giving our bodies time to burn fat. Okay, so let's discuss what intermittent fasting is. First of all, I want you to know that everybody fasts. We all fast at night. Usually we stop eating, let's say at about 8 p.m., most of us, I would say, and unless you happen to stay up late and eat. But then you don't eat again until the morning, probably let's say breakfast is at 8. That's a 12-hour fast. So for me, I stop eating at about, let's call it 5 p.m., and then I don't eat lunch again until the next day at about 1 p.m. That's more like a 20-hour fast, kind of give or take a few minutes on either side of it. The great thing about fasting is that when you are not taking in glucose into your body does not need to put out insulin to metabolize that glucose, to store it as glycogen and fat. So now the one-way door allows your body to burn the fat that you've stored. Isn't that great? We finally get to use all of that fat that your body has been packing on for years in times of emergency. Well, it's not an emergency, but what's really interesting to think about, and this isn't something that I realized until I would say a couple years ago, is that we are always, when we eat, we're always storing fat. So you never use all of the calories that you put into your body when you eat dinner. You just can't. Your body only needs, really, I think I read once that in a 1-hour test as a student, it takes the amount of calories in one peanut. That's like nothing to maintain your body for that 1-hour test and your brain activity. Isn't that incredible? So we don't need a lot of calories during that time that we're eating. So of course your body stores that all as fat to be used at a later time. When is that time? When you're not in storage mode. When are we not in storage mode? When we're not eating. Okay, so have I convinced you yet? Is this a good idea to try? Here's what I think. I don't think you should start crazy with a 20 or 24-hour fast. I think you should just build naturally on what you're already doing. So if your last meal is at 8 p.m. and you eat breakfast at 8 a.m., let's try to extend that on either side. So maybe our last food that we eat at night is 6 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. and we keep breakfast the same. Or maybe we want to play with it a little bit on either side and our last meal is at 6 p.m. and our first meal of the day the next day is at 10 a.m. You see how that's extending it little by little? I think that this is a really easy way to sort of play with intermittent fasting and see how it works for you. Most people aren't even hungry in the morning for breakfast anyway, so why force feed yourself? Why don't you just have your first meal as lunch? It's a good thought. All right, so here is what we're doing today. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about is that the other reason I like intermittent fasting is because it gives us a practice session in feeling hunger and managing our thoughts and emotions around that. So here is a news flash. Hunger is not an emergency. Did you know that? It's okay to be hungry. Our body is totally equipped to handle hunger. What happens when you feel hungry is it's just a signal to your body that it's time for fuel. If you don't give it fuel, it'll just use what is already stored. And this is exactly what you want to happen anyway, right? We want to use the fuel on our body. That's how we lose weight. Okay, so here we go. Our questions for today are, this is going to be built into your food protocol. What is your eating window and what time will you eat? So if I were to write down my protocol, my eating window would say between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Probably going to eat lunch at 1 p.m., probably going to eat dinner at 5 p.m. And then what foods will you eat? This is our normal nutrition protocol. So I'm going to prioritize meat and vegetables and fruit and probably some starch. Okay. Will you allow snacking? Now here's what I believe. I really like to eat a big meal at lunch and a slightly smaller meal at dinner, no snacks in between. And the reason why is, and I'll show you this on the website, that if you look at, okay, let's think of a graph, okay? If you look at insulin levels and glucose levels, they're going to be rising and falling based on when you eat. We really want to allow glucose and insulin to fall between meals And that includes in between the 2 meals that we eat, or even 3 meals that we eat during the day. So choose your meal times, stick to those, no snacks. All right, this is going to be a fun challenge. Now, here's where this comes in, the thought work comes in. This is interesting. I want you to plan in advance. What will you think to yourself when you experience hunger? Because generally, I do experience hunger during a fast. And I want you to think about beforehand, what will you think to yourself? So when my stomach growls, I think to myself, oh, good, we're using our fat stores. And that way we set ourselves up for this positive attitude of, this is a good thing that I feel hungry, okay? And I want you to think ahead of time about what will you do to manage uncomfortable thoughts and emotions that pop up. So you may notice mid-fast, and I do sometimes too, I start to wonder, am I getting enough calories? And that little thought sounds so innocent, an innocent, kind question to your body, right? But what that really does is it sets me up to overeat later or even eat off protocol, because I'm giving myself permission to overeat or eat off protocol when I think something like that. So I know ahead of time, because it's already happened, that my brain is going to wonder, am I getting enough calories? And then I answer the question for myself ahead of time. Yes, I can eat as much as I need to eat at mealtime. I don't need to worry about that right now during my fast. So there's a lot of compassion. There's a lot of being willing to answer questions for yourself. You allow a lot of learning to take place, and you don't beat yourself up for eating off protocol or eating during your fast. It's totally okay to learn from mistakes and do better next time. I don't even like using that word better. Let's just say you're going to learn from your mistakes and you're going to act appropriately next time. Okay. So I'm super excited to see how intermittent fasting goes for you. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can email me or set up a conference or a client session anytime. And I cannot wait to hear what you think of intermittent fasting, because I think this is one of the most powerful tools I have in my weight loss arsenal. Have fun. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.